All right, welcome back to Project Seawolf. So today is actually kind of a super special day. I've got the kayak because we're gonna head out there to the tankers because there is a Islander 37 with a QT10 out there owned by one of the subscribers, and he invited me to come out and look. And also later today I've got another subscriber coming by and dropping off supplies. Takes a village. It's awesome. And yeah, I met these people through doing the YouTube thing. Also got more Divini foam, and yeah, just popped in here, took a look at this. Looks like it turned out great. Really like how that turned out. And yeah, these walls are in now, so I'm gonna be able to do some more fiberglass work. And this should be all the Divini foam I need. I was kind of worried because I had only one thin sheet of Divini foam and a bunch of thick pieces of Divini foam. So it's good that I don't have to worry about the thin pieces anymore. Also on the agenda is to really start seriously looking at the holes in the deck, because fall is coming sooner than I'd like. Definitely want to plug up those holes in the deck and in the cockpit here as well. So I've got some tools to start digging out the coring. Then I'm going to be replacing the coring and fiberglassing over. Yeah, I'm gonna have to avoid sanding much because of the stipulations of the yard, but it needs to happen before fall, because then at least I can keep it dry in here and keep doing fiberglass work in here. That also means I need to take out these chain plates, because the chain plates also have a bunch of water coming in there. Yeah, I'm gonna finish bringing stuff up, and then we're gonna go paddle on over to the Islander 37. All right, the kayak is off. It's been quite a while since I've kayaked. I kayaked for a year counting seals and in all conditions, and so I think it's gonna be okay. But he's all the way over at the tankers, way out there at the other end of the bay, but should be a good paddle. Beautiful day for it. All right, we're off. And there's some RC boat races going on in this little bay here. That is so cool. I didn't know RC boating was such a club thing. Everybody brings out their RC boats and is racing them around this little bay. That's so cool. It's too shallow in here for anything else, so except for like super tiny sailboats. Tom promised whitecaps in the bay, but I have not seen any whitecaps out here. It's just an excellent day. Oh man, I miss cruising the San Juans and paddling around the islands and life on the water. Gosh, I can't wait to get this boat done and cruising again. Well, it looks like I've got 3 of my thesis friends, harbor seals, following me out here. I love them so much. We got a lovely boat that's kind of shaped like mine, but a little bit shorter. This is a Gulf 32, and if you remember from my boat shopping days, this is one of the boats that I was looking for. And I actually got to go aboard one in the San Juans, and didn't like how cramped it was inside, but fantastic boat, especially for here and cruising to Alaska and back. Just very nice boat. Got a couple of schooners in the bay too. This one's new. That one was anchored here when we were anchored here during the delivery, and I believe that boat in the middle is going to be our Islander 37. All right, here we are. Looks like he's got a nice, lovely deck house, pilot house type situation, living space. Very similar to my boat. I believe this is a King design. Whereas mine's designed by Philip Rhodes. So, also big, lovely windows. Don't know if he has stormboards ideas, but yeah, you can see the striations kind of across. Very nice. All right, we're on board the Islander 37 with Tom, and first thing I noticed was this Honda, and I know I want a Honda to be able to like extend my electric motor range. But you were explaining why I wouldn't want this exact Honda.
Well, so this Honda with my motor only operates the 10 kilowatt motor at about half power, and it takes about 4 hours to get 35 to 40% of power back into a 200 amp hour battery. So it's just not enough power, especially for a 20 kilowatt motor like you have.
Yeah.
It's going to need a lot more batteries to make it go. So the useful range of this boat is about 6 hours. But if you're fighting any kind of current, like you might be up here in the Puget Sound,
Oh yeah.
then you probably have quite a bit less than that, unless you can catch the tides right. So this boat can actually motor forward at its normal cruising speed is about 3.3 knots apparent. But
Yeah.
I've actually had this boat going up to 10 knots by catching the tides coming back and forth between the islands. That is so awesome.
Oh,
you
yeah.
feel like you're just racing, and then suddenly you feel like you stop, and you're actually going 3.3 knots. So.
I've had that experience in the Narrows, in Tacoma Narrows, going through there. If you hit the exact tide, you're going really fast.
And when the tide's coming out, like here's Guemes Island, and then over on the other side of that is Cypress Island. And if you try to go out of here and up there, you're getting opposing tides, so you really have to catch. You have to figure out which one's going to be the most important one for you to catch.
Oh yeah, no, tide is king here, and learning how to harness is definitely what makes a sailor.
You can't go from here to Cypress Island and catch them both. You're going to get one.
True. Yeah. It's that's an issue doing the inside passage. If you're trying to go all day every day, you usually can only go half a day, because then you're just fighting the tide.
You know, this may be where the prop shaft came out originally.
Well, I mean, it looks like it, because that looks like the mounts for the diesel motor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would it be a V drive then? Like, would it go forward and then back
I know
down?
it was a gas engine. I've never seen one of those.
Okay. I don't even see. So is the motor like below you, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We'll see that, but I just wanted you to. And here's the steering, and the emergency rudder. Now you'll see that this is a 2-step.
Mm-hmm.
But the original Islander 37s all have 3 steps.
Okay. So that's because they brought this floor up.
Yeah. So this floor is like a foot higher.
I mean, you've still got tons of headspace in here, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the big issue here is the batteries, which are under this one, and this one. And in order to get this board out, you actually have to remove this whole thing, and anything that's over here. Turn it on. So I have a battery switch right here.
You have like a little access port.
And then if I want to,
Oh, sorry.
actually get over here and do something.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I wanted to enlist your help with. Does it see these motor mounts?
Mm-hmm.
Like this one here? You cannot even move it. So what I'm trying to figure out is if I do all this.
Yeah. So this is the engine. This is the QT10.
This is the motor. This is the controller.
Yeah.
And here are the batteries.
And the batteries are inside in there. I see the tops of them through there, that crack.
So there's 8 Battleborn batteries hooked in series to 2 banks.
Okay.
And then that all comes over here to this Lynx power.
Some Victron stuff.
Yeah. A lot of Victron stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I definitely want to go Victron because it's all connected up to each other. Here we are at the pilot house helm.
Don't need to see this.
We've got this, which is pretty much the same as what I'm gonna have. And it shows the volts up in the top right or top left, kilowatts, and RPM in the bottom right. So, so this is probably something pretty similar to what we're gonna be doing.
And I've reckoned that with this propeller and this 10 kilowatt motor that I can cruise at about 3.3 knots at about 1200 RPM.
Okay. And
if I try to go faster than that, then I start getting cavitation.
Okay. Yeah, that's something.
And that's why I'm thinking I might need a bigger propeller.
Right. So there's a propeller question, and then there's the motor mount question, which some issues with the material of the bolts. Yeah. Okay.
Does anybody know how to use a Pathfinder SL70 radar?
Yeah, leave a comment and I'll forward you the email. I really like how you can see wherever you're going in here.
Yeah, this window has been recently treated with Rain-X. Not as recently, never.
Okay.
And so what's interesting is, like, you can see out of this one, you can kind of see out of this one, and this one is just sheeting a solid stream of water.
And yeah, well,
I haven't been out in the rain enough to do it. And I need to find a replacement for this, or just a whole new arm that goes on this type of 12 volt. I actually have another 12 volt that might have a different post on the end.
Yeah.
But that would sure be helpful. That doesn't look like something I've ever seen in the stores. I don't think they carry that at Walmart.
No, a tiny little window wiper.
But I haven't really seen a need for it. Even when it's like really hissing rain, you can watch out this window and it's just beautiful.
Well, I've never tried to drive a boat from the inside before, so.
Well, I usually drive it out in the cockpit because that's where the autopilot is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in Washington, most people don't want to hang out outside of the boat for most of the year.
Well, it can be pretty ugly up here.
It does, yeah.
And it's really chilly here in the morning.
Oh yeah.
And we're having one of these roasting afternoons. I think it's like 72 here today.
How long have you had this boat?
I've been on this boat since July 2nd.
Wow. Okay, so really not that long.
Yeah.
That's what I never understood. It's like people glassing away the things that you need to work on.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time because that's what they did with the that's what they did with the chain plates too, right?
Yeah, on mine.
On this one too.
Oh, really? What? Where are your? Can you see your chain plates at all, or are they hidden?
The rear one is
up in there.
So here's one.
Yeah, just the corner of it, or.
And at first I thought that, oh, maybe this black stuff is rust, but it's actually just the foam from this sticky stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And unlike yours, these look like they're really glassed in well. I don't see any signs of damage.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I can kind of see it up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we got the chain plates, similar setup to mine. That has this external plate covering the opening. Looks like life caulk on the outside, maybe, or butyl tape. I'm not sure.
The butyl is gray.
Yeah.
So that's more like
life caulk, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like roofing caulk.
The rigging feels really tight.
Yeah.
So.
Anchor by hand.
So you stick a pole in here,
right,
and you do that, and it brings it up. Well, I can't tell you how much I love this anchorage, except for the traffic. Oh, very good, yeah.
No matter how bad that is.
And you got some mast steps going on too.
Starting to, I need a, I didn't have a good drill bit for this, so I had to stop.
Wow. God, I miss being out on the water.
I just love it.
Well, thanks for having me. It was wonderful seeing the boat and being out in the water again.
It's so beautiful out here.
On a beautiful day. But I get back to my epoxy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Back to work.
All right, bye. All Alright, we're back on Seawolf. The subscriber bringing by some cleaning supplies is just going to drop them off at the gate in an hour or so. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to cut out the fiberglass that I want to use in these storage areas that I just did the thickened epoxy in, and get those glassed in. But seriously, priority next time I'm on board is going to be glassing over the leaks on the deck, or at least making them not drip. Yeah, because I've only got one more weekend until I'm going to be in Europe for 2.5 weeks, and when I come back it's going to be fall, probably. Fall weather, which means rain here. I don't want this boat to be filling with rainwater every week. Just the little bit of rain we've had has put a significant amount in the bilge, so. The first thing I have to do is take off these masking tape strips, and that is a very satisfying pull, honestly, to do, because it ends up looking really nice on the other side of these paint strips. It's thickened epoxy float over the top of the tape, and yeah, that's not coming out. Interesting. I don't even know what you would do in that situation. Definitely don't want to do in the structural bits. Don't want to do that with the chain plate rebuild. Very nice. I'll clean that up as best I can, and then glass over it, I guess. It's fine. These are not very structural elements, although it does help hold this, make this wall rigid. All right, I just met the another subscriber at the gate. Eddie, man, dude, left me a nice letter, and oh man. Yeah, and a bunch of boat supplies. Dude, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you made my day, man. If I can get you a t-shirt, I'm gonna send one to you, because shoot, man, you drove an hour north to come up and give me stuff. This is wild. I mean, jeez. Thanks, Eddie. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, cleaning up, organizing, and meeting up with subscribers has eaten up a lot of the day, but I still want to get something big done before I head out for today. So luckily I kept this form that I used for the Divinity Foam stencil for this this wall that's in here. And it will be the biggest piece of fiberglass I've ever tried to epoxy in. That's not saying much, since you've seen all of the fiberglass I've ever tried to epoxy in at this point. But we'll see if anything is different with this. I imagine I'm going to have to use the roller to get the bubbles out more than the other ones. But it'll be good to have that wall in, because then I'll have a functional storage in there. And I'll be able to move a lot of all these pieces of wood and stuff in there once I get the inside fiberglass in as well. I've also got to do these walls, but I don't think I'm going to get those to those tonight, because I still got to drive 3 hours. It's 6 o'clock already, as well as pack and unpack a bunch of stuff on the way. Alright, I'm cutting this out with a bit of a border because, yeah, of course you need that overlap for it to stick to the walls and to shove into the crevices and all that, so. Hello from the editing studio. So I just wanted to pop in real quick. I just got back from Europe, and I've read through all of your comments, and I will probably be switching from the chop strand to the biaxial roving type fiberglass, because it's just stronger. And probably with the inside of this wall, I'll be starting that. Because if I put heavy stuff in that storage area, I want it to be able to hold the wall to hold. Honestly, should have put it on both sides. For smaller areas and like the thin strips, I think chop strand would be fine. But yeah, for areas that are gonna take some weight or whatever, it's gonna be good to have the biaxial roving. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough tabletop epoxy for this whole thing. And I don't think you should mix different brands of epoxies. Okay, actually I think I'm gonna have enough epoxy for this. At least one side. Actually for the whole thing, I should have enough epoxy. I think this should be enough. It's about 1/8 of the, or 1/6 of the jugs is left, so just gonna mix up the rest, and that should be pretty much this whole thing. Pour it on there, flip it over, pour the other side, stick it on the wall. So, knock that out. Hell yeah. Putting on the latex gloves because they handle epoxy and acetone better than nitrile, and they're tougher. Hey, if you like my shirt, you can get my shirt on the Patreon or on the store, either one. But if you sign up for the Patreon at the sailor level, I'll send you one personally. And thank you to all my supporters, everybody who's sent in support, supplies, the patron, bought merch. I've got all their names up on the screen. Thank you so much for making this project happen. It really takes a lot of stress off. So yeah, if you want to check out the Patreon, it's the first link in the description. Oh, and I think if you've noticed, I've been pinning my own comment at the top of each video. That's for the Amazon associate links. If you see any equipment or anything in my videos that you want, I'll send you a link to go get it. Yeah, so that also helps me out. Once I'm done with these things, I'm going to move on to these small cans of Bondo fiberglass. They come with a little hardener tube inside. It's a little bit more difficult to gauge how much you need to mix, but another good experience builder. Yeah, because I'd really like to move on from this tabletop epoxy. It'll be good to have it out of here and to move on to actual like marine stuff. Even though this is by Pro Marine, so I guess it is marine stuff, but this stuff is designed for boats. And then I've got the total boat pump kit, and after I'm done getting through all these Bondos and Pro Marines, I'll be probably pretty much exclusively using the total boat, the pump kits. They have measured pumps that give out measured hardener and epoxy, and that just makes it so much easier. All right, so we got 26 ounces of epoxy here. I've got the jumbo popsicle sticks now, so no more digging my hand in there. And yeah, so I'm gonna start mixing this up and pouring it on that huge piece of fiberglass. I mean, if I have some of this left over, the cook time on this stuff is so long. Honestly, I could cut out another piece of fiberglass and put it down. So we'll see. But I've noticed it takes a lot of epoxy for each of these. Wow, this is the biggest batch of epoxy I've ever made, and I hope it's the biggest batch of epoxy if I ever make, because it's a lot of epoxy. It's like what is this? Probably like $15, $10 worth of material just in here. Woo! 26 ounces of epoxy. Oh my goodness! I've got the barn doors open, ready to put the fiberglass in, but I think it's just ready to pour now. Okay. So that took up almost half, which is about what I wanted. Anyway. Okay. My goodness. So now I gotta spread this around. And immediately it's soaked all in. So crazy how like all the big sailing YouTubers or some of the big sailing YouTubers are all having babies. Sailing Zingaro had a baby, and Learning by Doing is having a kid too. But I got them beat. I got them having twins. Jeez. Yeah, I'm starting to come around to it a little bit more at a time. It's gonna be tough, for sure, the first few years, but I was kind of planning on those years just kind of being like test sailing anyway in the Sound and San Juan's area, which I've done a lot on my old boat, so I don't really know why I really needed to do much of that. Other than to just test out the systems on this boat, but that just gives me some time to save up and stabilize some things and let the kids grow up a little bit. Maybe I can, yeah, get Sarah on board. Although we're going to be coming out of med school with a lot of loans, aren't we? Yeah, it's all going well. Got a lot of support from the family. It'll all be okay. And in our wedding vows to each other last weekend in real time, August 5th, we both vowed to support each other's dreams. Her being a doctor and mine being sailing, so yeah, should be good. In real time, I'll be coming back from Europe, from my Ireland, Norway, and UK bucket list trip that I've been putting off, and then kids kind of kicked me into gear to do that. But I'm heading off on another trip because flights to Hawaii, the big island, were only $200 round trip from Seattle, so I jumped on that deal, and yeah, so I guess I'm heading to Hawaii at the end of October. If you're on the big island, let me know, and I'd love to stop by. If you're on a boat on the big island, take me out, please. It's so hard to find a charter there. Yeah, need to get those pelagic birds. I haven't decided if I'm going to do any travel vlogs for the trips, but you guys let me know if you'd be interested in that. I'm going to be stopping by a lot of marine stuff and, you know, trying to find some rare wildlife. I know right now it's a boat work channel, but originally this is kind of a boat work and wildlife channel, so maybe get you guys into gear with that. Okay. So this side is soaked with epoxy. I'm going to flip it over and soak the other side. What I found is it doesn't need nearly as much on the other side because it soaks through. So I'm going to peel this up off the wax paper. I don't know if you guys saw, but there is wax paper down. I wouldn't put this on my table just by default. I've got all the windows open for good ventilation and everything as well. So yeah, this is just really just to get something on this side too before I put it on, because it's kind of hard to paint it on to a vertical surface. But man, this should turn out really well. I mean, it worked out really good for the first storage area that I did this on, and excited to see if it turns out for this larger piece too. Now I'll be going back through here with more epoxy to really get it soaked into the corners and everything. This is the part where I wish I had one person filming and then me doing this. So I'm gonna take the gloves off and start with a new shot. Okay, here it comes. Woo! All the way down in the bilge. Well, that looks pretty good, honestly. I think I did an okay job measuring and getting it all in. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm gonna peel it off. Re-stick it a little bit higher. Yeah. I'm gonna use the top as the guide now. If I can get it all the way up. Yeah. Alright, using the top as the guide was better because I don't have the excess down below. The excess is filling in the top. Try to get all the bubbles between the fiberglass and the closed cell foam out. Boy howdy, that's a big piece. So she said. Okay, let's soak that in. Woo! That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm just filling that crack there with as much as the loose fiberglass as I can get. If you made it this far in the video, congratulations. You made it farther than 40% of viewers. Shove that in there. Okay, gonna go grab the rest of the epoxy. Okay. So I definitely. Oh man, this. I was like, did I leave this bucket out in the sun? No, it's the epoxy really cooking. Yeah, good thing I think you want to get the epoxy on before it starts really burning up. Nice. Okay. Just going along the edges because that's the super important bit to get that I didn't get so well when I was on the table because the edges were off the table pretty much. But yeah. It also looks really good when your finished epoxy is just beautiful along the edges. I noticed in that storage bin, like the areas that I was really thick with the epoxy on the edges turned out really pretty. And then areas that, yeah, it's just kind of fuzzy in the areas that I skimped on it. Oh yeah, okay, just slamming that snail snot in there. There's that squelch sound that everybody loves. No, this looks great. I think this turned out fantastic. Oh yeah, okay. And I'll just roll these extra hairs down. And yeah, I think this turned out really well. So this roller is going to do two things. It's going to knock down these stray hairs and it's also going to roll out the bubbles. So definitely handy to have. Oh yeah, yep. Wow, that's like magic. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. I love that. So glad I went ahead and got these rollers. I'll leave a link in the I'll pin a comment with where you can get these rollers, and yeah, if you want to get them, check out the pinned comment by me at the top of the video, and yeah, totally worth it if you're gonna do some fiberglass work. Handy as hell. Oh, I'm just surprised. I'm just really surprised that it's turning out really well. I'm so happy. A bunch of stuff has been breaking on the GoPro today. I mean, usually I'm shooting with this flexible tripod which has a top mount, and the clip thing for the top mount broke. And then while I was filming this the wall, I had to change batteries, and the end of the battery just broke off, and so I had this lithium battery that was exposed, which, as you might know, is a fire hazard. And yeah, so there's the end of the battery, and so that's broken now. But I got it out with some pliers without blowing up the camera. Never had that happen before. But look at this glorious wall. Oh, it's so clean and nice. There's no flicky hairs or anything because it all got rolled out and it's all flat against there and soaked in along the corner. It's just chef's kiss. Beautiful. Wow. Well, we got a lot done today. Thanks for watching. Next week, probably some more fiberglass work. Oh, yeah, I gotta start filling those holes in the deck. So good thing I remember where most of the deck leaks were, because I gotta start filling those, because I don't want this boat filling up with water while I'm traveling, or I can't be here. So gotta fill those up. You won't notice any gaps in the episodes. I'm gonna keep these episodes coming out every week. I have quite the stash already. In real time, it's August 13th, and this is probably coming out a month later. If you want to see the episodes as I edit them, so basically like as they become available, which can be a month or two in advance, those come out on the Patreon. And it's very not steady on the Patreon, so it's feast and famine on the Patreon. But you get to see the episodes in real time and give feedback in real time, and that helps me out a lot. But the YouTube algorithm definitely prefers having weekly videos, and so if you're on that routine, then the algorithm favors you. So that's why I have to have it this way on YouTube, and how I can have it on Patreon that way too. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna start cleaning up all this. I mean, it's a mess in here, and yeah, I've got a 3-hour drive. So I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching, and if you want to stop by, if you're in the area, come on by. I'd love to meet you. Yeah, just leave a comment, and we'll exchange emails and get that done. All right, see you next time.